Shall we start? Okay. So, can we start, sir?
Yes,
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. I am Aryan Gupta, the host of today's session. I, on behalf of the whole Juice Corpus team, welcome you all in today's session on role of regulatory bodies in shaping higher education in India, issues and challenges. Before we delve into today's session, let me provide a brief introduction of our team and the eminent guest speaker of the day. Jus Corpus is a body of legal professionals who have come together to bring various aspects and chains of law under a single umbrella. Jus Corpus, an edtech platform set up in 2020, has achieved a wide reach of 600,000 clicks per month on an average basis on our website. The inspiration was derived from the ever-growing need for law students. Jus Corpus has also incorporated an interdisciplinary journal and a multidisciplinary journal as its subsidiaries, named as the Jus Corpus Law Journal and the International Journal of Law Research Education and Social Sciences. Now turning our attention to today's focal point. We are privileged to have Dr. Mithilesh Narayan Bhatt as an esteemed guest speaker. Dr. Mithilesh Narayan Bhatt is an assistant professor and deputy director of the Center for Social Defense and Gender Studies Law at the Sardar Patel University of Police Security and Criminal Justice, Jodhpur. He has previously worked as an assistant professor of law at Raksha Shakti University in Ahmadabad. He worked as an invigilator in various exams as well as in UGC-NET. He is also a senior editorial board member of the Juice Corpus Law Journal. So without further ado, I hand over the mic to Sir for his insights on the topic.
thank you, Aryan. And I'm thankful to Team Just Corpus to providing me this opportunity to speak on a very important topic, which is directly related to all of us, as we all are somehow attached, directly or indirectly attached with the higher education system. So, the today's topic is basically we are trying to evaluating the role of regulatory bodies, uh, because in India we are having so many regulatory bodies which is regulating the higher education system, and some of them are like a council, some of them are like commissions and various names, but all of them are doing one major thing, which is regulation of the higher education system. So the first, I will start with some quote which has been quoted in 1994 by the World Bank report, which entitled "Higher Education: The Lesson of Experiences," and in another report, the same thing highlighted, like priorities and strategies for education, a World Bank review in 1995. It says higher education is of paramount importance of social and economic development. Institutions of higher education have the main responsibility for equipping individuals with advanced knowledge and skills required for position of responsibilities. Estimated social rates of return of 10% or more in many developing countries also indicates that investment in higher education contributed to increase in labor productivity and to higher long-term economic growth essential for poverty alleviation. Unquote. So basically, uh, what I want to say, or what I want to introduce the theme like that, if we invest more and more in higher education, we will get better output, like better human resources, skilled human resources. So for that, what we need universities, we need colleges. So if we compare with the data of 1950-51 in India, at that time only 0.2 million students were registered, and we are having 20 universities and 500 colleges all over India. And from that to today, it's a huge development. We are having many numbers of university, which we I will discuss later. So first, the foremost, you can say, tool to impart higher education is university. So what is the university means in perspective of India or anywhere? And in our law, in University UGC Act 1956 says at university means a university established or incorporated by or under a central act, a provincial act, or a state act, and includes any such institution as may, in the consultation with the university concerned, be recognized by the University Grant Commission in accordance with the regulation made in this regard under the UGC Act 1956. So the few things are very relevant in this perspective, that a university must be incorporated by an act. It may be by the central legislature or by the state legislature, and it must be recognized by the University Grant Commission. So the first and main body is the University Grant Commission. So if we categorize our university system, which presently existing in India, we can identify that we are having the central universities, we are having the state universities, we are having the deemed to be universities, and private universities, and some of them are the institution of national importance, which is recognized by the central government through the gazette notification. So, what is the landscape of our higher education system? Means how many universities we are having and what type of numbers are there in different categories. So, as per the UGC data, existing data, we are having the 56 central universities, 487 state universities, and 136 deemed to be universities, and 485 state private universities. So we are having roughly or near about 1164 universities with the different name, different legislature enactment, and among them or other than the 165 institution of national importance. And apart from that, we are having nearly 45,000 colleges, which is spread all over India. And our regulatory mechanism also of having the three layers, we can say. One is the at university level, then other is the college level, and above all, in the top of the pyramid, we are having some councils or commissions. So presently, if we broadly look, we are having the 14 professional councils and commissions, which includes University Grant Commission, All India Council for Technical Education, AICT, then National Medical Commission, Dental Council of India, Pharmacy Council of India, then NCTE, National Council for Teachers Education, RCI, Rehabilitation Council of India, then ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research. For the law, we are having Bar Council of India, Indian Nursing Councils, Council of Architecture, Central Council for Homeopathy, Central Council for Indian Medicines, and there that list may be broader than that, but I have just named few which is known to everyone. So, in as I told earlier, that we are having the main regulatory body, which is widely known as the UGC. And the University Grant Commission is a statutory organization and getting the power from the parliament since 1956. And the major work of the or aim of that commission is that coordination, determination, and maintenance of the standard of university education. As we all have gone through the Constitution of India, that higher education is under the purview of the central government. So central government is regulating through the UGC. After looking this landscape, what is the current status of our higher education? So according to the All India Survey of Higher Education, I say, which the data is of the year 2021 to 22 and the report released in January 24, it says that the student enrollment in higher education institution is 4.33 crore as of 2021-22, and which is significant upstick from 4.14 crore in 2021 and 3.42 crore in 2014 to 15. So from 14 to 15, from 3.42 crore, we have reached 4.33 crore. Sorry. And the number of women enrollment in higher education is 2.07 crore as of 2021, which is jumped 32% from 1.5 crore from 2014 to 15, or we can also compare in other years also. So it is a huge jump we can see. And postgraduate enrollment is also jumped, and presently it is 55.4% in terms of the women. But above all, I would like to here draw some attention that we are having the gross enrollment ratio is only 28.4%. Which is quite below to the 36.7% average of the world. So, in other terms, in other word, we can understand that out of the 100 students which are coming from the schools, only 28.5 and 28.4% students are joining higher education system, which is alarming. We need to work on that. Then discipline wise also, the students preferring the BA program, then the science, and then the commerce, and then engineering and technology. And that may be due to the availability of the branches, but the number is more in BA program in compared to the other. And the PhD program also enrollment has increased in this perspective. And one thing which is we need to look into, that 73.7% of all students attending the government universities, and which make up uh, uh, from the 58.6%, and now it is rising. So we need to focus on government universities more rather than focusing on the private universities. To strengthen our higher education system, government is also taking so many initiatives. Likewise, we all has seen, or soon we are going to see the our courses in consonation with the National Education Policy 2020, which aims to overhaul the education system, including higher education, and with a focus on multidisciplinary learning, skill development, and promoting research and innovation. And this in NEP 2020, it proposes increasing the GER, gross enrollment ratio in higher education, to 50% by 2035. Similarly, government is also focusing institution of eminence scheme, where they since 2018, 20 institutions were to be selected to enjoy complete autonomy. Then national credit framework, we have already seen that it designed to integrate training and skill development into the education system, spanning both school and higher education, which provides the credits while doing the different programs. Then the revamping the NIRF, National Institutional Ranking Framework. Then also revamping the National Assessment and Accreditation Council. Now we are having only two kind of categories, either accredited or non-accredited. Then we are having a digital initiative also, like study webs of active learning for young aspiring minds, widely known as a SWAM program, which is an online platform covering school to postgraduate level, all type of lectures, audio lectures, PDF files, then learning outcomes, question answer, etc. Then we are having National Digital Library of India, Study in India program, foreign institution in India, and then C under Inspired. It means the scholarship for higher education, part of the innovation in science pursued for inspired research program by the Department of Science and Technology, DST. So it actually providing the uh, scholarship to the undergraduate and postgraduate students to pursue their career in research. Then again, the if we look to the positive role, then education quality upgradation and inclusion program equip, which recently launched few years back, and this is the under the 5-year plan, and to improve the quality and accessibility in higher education system in next 5 year, double the gross enrollment ratio, then revitalizing infrastructure and system in education rise by 2022, which is qualitatively upgrade the research and academic infrastructure in India to global best standard by 2022, and Make in India initiative, which is for education, making education hub, high quality research infrastructure in Indian higher education system, and to allow access of HEPA funding to institutions like central universities, AIMS, IISERS, and newly created institution of national importance without creating any additional burden to the students. Then Higher Education Financing Agency has also been tasked to mobilize rupees 1 lakh crore for this initiative. Then UGC Learning Outcome Based Curriculum Framework is also one of the significant role in improving the higher education, and its guidelines issued in 2018, which aims to specify what graduates are expected to know, understand, and be able to do at the end of their program of study. This is to make a student active learner and teacher as a good facilitator. Then we are also providing the graded autonomy to universities and colleges. Three-tiered graded autonomy regulatory system has been initiated with the categorization based on the accreditation scores. Like category 1 and 2 universities will have a significant autonomy to conduct examination, prescribed evaluation system, and even announces the results. Then Global Initiative for Academics and Network GYAN. The program seeks to invite distinguished academicians, entrepreneurs, scientists, experts from premier institutions from across the world to teach in the higher education institution in India. And I say, like as I mentioned, the its report, All India Survey on Higher Education, which main objective to survey and identify and capture the problems in institution of higher education in the country and collect the data from all the higher education institution on various aspects of the higher education system. So basically, apart from that, recently we have, if you have gone through the budget of India, then the education loan also provided to the local people, means in for the local institutions which is existing in India. Earlier it was for foreign also, and now it is for all. Even we can say it is for all, whether it is local or domestic or foreign, irrespective of the regions. So these are some of the, you can say, initiative taken by the government of India and by the through their regulatory bodies. But apart from this bright pictures, we are having so many challenges also. And the first challenges is about the access increasing demand, means access to the students, providing access to enter into the universities, and the fulfilling their demand in the higher education system. Like I stated earlier that our GER is 28.4%, and it is quite low in compared to the other developed country and the, you can say, global mean GER. And also there is problem of the access to higher education, and it skewed significant disparities based on the socio-economic background, gender, and geographical location. Now, if you will do the research, you will find that where there is a very tough terrain or geographically, you can say, disadvantaged state or area, you will find less number of GER, or the enrollment ratio will be low. And in metros, you may find it is higher. So India is diverse country. We all know we are having so many diversified geographical locations existing, and our tradition also diversified, language also diversified. So in that case, it is very tough to equally make available our institution to each and everyone. According to the National Institute of Education Planning and Administration, NIPA, it is predicted that the number of students enrolled in higher education will reach an astonishing 100 million by 2030. And such a substantial increase will undoubtedly strain the current infrastructure and resources, which are already insufficient to cater to the growing demand. So, if we allow 100 million people, 100 million students till from 2030, then we need so much, you can say, institutions to be incorporated. And in the same line, to increase GER, the AICT chief stressed the need to increase the number of the university and colleges in the country. In compared to present, we are able to serve only 4.3 crore postgraduate students. If 25 crore students to be enrolled from school education have to go higher education, we need to double this educational network and infrastructure. And to reach the goal, 50% GR in the next 10 years, we need a large number of universities. We also need to leverage digital technology to reach out the students. So recent data is satisfying, but to reach the, you can say, numbers of numbers with comparing to the developed country, we need so many more universities, more colleges, more technology driven education uh, available or accessible to the common person or even the students of, you can say, low economic background. Then if we see our state universities and many other central universities, we will find that we are lacking in infrastructures. Our infrastructure is not at par with the developed countries. We are facing the poor condition of the libraries and unavailability of quality um, journals or digital library. And then the most of the our, you can say, funding going to the maintenance, maintaining the salaries fund, pension fund, and whatever the remain, we are spending on the infrastructure. So mainly it remains 15 to 20% with all universities, so, or colleges. So it's quite tough to compete with the private universities or with compete with the universities existing in the developed country. So our expenses and funding should be equal. Only then we will able to increase our infrastructure. Now, quantity and quality in of the faculty, that is also very important or crucial role, which putting the burden on our regulatory system. Like we are having a shortage of qualified faculties, and if you go to the questions of the parliament, you will find every time in every session the MP is asking the question about the faculty crunch and number of the faculties vacancies available in the universities. So you will find 30 to 40% vacancies every time available in the universities, or even in the colleges you will find more vacancies. So with that, we cannot impart the good education or quality education. And shortage of qualified faculty is also one of the factors. We can appoint, but after appointment, how we will evaluate that whether, or during appointment also, the appointment of quality qualified faculty is quite tough. The teaching ability, the research ability, all these criteria is quite tough to analyze during the appointment process. So this is the one aspects where we are lacking, and where our regulatory body is also trying to find the ways. So this is the one is second strain. Then governance and management, which needs to be looked into. Every university is facing the governance problem and management problem, and the biggest problem is corruption. It exists in all the system, and it becomes, you can say, mm, like a cancerous if it exists in the education or health sector, because these are the main area. Food also, food, health, and education. If corruption existing in that, it will destroy whole system, because it will destroy your body and brain and knowledge, all three. So politics in university system, politics in a college system, politicization of the education, all these are the area which um, putting the pressure on the regulatory bodies that how it they can handle with all these things. Then uh, in recent time we have seen the problem in appointment of the vice chancellor. You can see, you can take the example of the state of Kerala. Then West Bengal, the Supreme Court has taken the charge to appoint the Vice Chancellor. So it's showing that failure of the regulatory bodies, that why Supreme Court has to come forward and take this charge to appoint the Vice Chancellor, because it's a duty of the regulatory bodies or higher education system of that particular state to appoint a appropriate leader in their education system. Funding is also one of the area, though this budget, the finance minister has increased, government of India has increased the 7%, 8% funding to the UGC and the higher education system, but still we are lacking. Like India's R&D sector is growing, and it shows that gross expenditure on research and development rising from the 6,01,968 million from 2010 to 11, and now it is 12,73,810 million. But still, if we compare to the GDP which developed countries spending on R&D, we will find that our we are spending 0.64%, whereas China is spending 2.4%, Germany is spending 3.1%, South Korea 4.8%, and the United States is spending 3.5% on R&D. So we are lacking too much in compared to the developed country. Now we are also lacking in terms of the industrial academia collaboration. Now it initiative has taken like appointing the professor of practice in universities. But whether university will be able to pay that much amount to the professor of practice which they ask. And the other question is that how means every university existing in a different area, different geographical location, then how we can appoint at that particular place whether there is any industry existing or not existing. So there are the gap, and that gap must be fulfilled by the regulatory bodies. If we want our youth to be skilled, to be more knowledgeable with the to compete with the world, then we need to be focus on adequating the industrial academia collaboration. Then uneven regional development of higher education. If you look to the GER, you will find that Delhi, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra have a higher concentration of reputed institutions, including the GAR and availability of the higher education system. And other state like northeastern or central region, you will find they are lagging behind in terms of the access and quality and availability of higher education system. So this uneven distribution should be checked by the regulatory bodies. Then the other problematic thing is that the cost of the education is rising because more and more private sector is coming into the higher education. The rate of the fees, the amount of the fees, and the other expenses are also rising. And in that perspective, the role of regulatory bodies become very important. They should check on this because education or higher education cannot be profit making venture. It is basic need of any human being. So in that perspective, they need to look into. Then our curriculum also a problem. If you see the rate of amending the curriculum in every university, the frequency of the you can say updating the curriculum, you will find it is taking too much time to update the syllabus and curriculum. They are basically dependent on the UGC. Whenever the UGC coming with new syllabus, they are only incorporating. Or when UGC sending the letter that include environmental subject, include this subject, digital education subject, only then the universities are incorporating that subject into that. So if university is having autonomy, then they should update their syllabus time to time without looking to the regulatory bodies, because university is also one of the layer of regulating the things. Then in that regulatory framework, we are also having the problem. Likewise, overlapping of regulations in different layers. We all are, most of us are the law students, and we have seen that uh, UGC saying that they will regulate the LLM program. Bar Council of India now started to regulating the LLM program and the PhD program also in the law. UGC saying the 1 year law is not maintainable, and other saying that it's maintainable. So there is a fight among, or you can say clash, regarding the tenure of the course also. Similarly on the base syllabus also. So there are, I'm just giving one example, but there are so many examples where the role of UGC and role of the that particular subject specific council, the both are clashing in their domain, or the mixed domain. So overlapping is also one of the problem which need to be addressed. Then high capital requirement to meet land reform, land norms, endowment fund, and other such requirement to establish the university is also one of the area which need to look into. And when any institution is going to establish the university, they are having some requirement, and that requirement must be feasible, not like that you are putting very strict norm. And yes, strict norm is required, but that norms should be like that we can check time to time. If you give free hand, they can misuse that, and we have seen the quality of infrastructure of many other universities. I'm not saying all universities, but there are the universities which is getting the approval, but they are not fulfilling the criteria. So here the role of regulatory bodies become important. Then uh, lack of clear and easily accessible documentation of the requirement for setting up the private institution. So if we need more and more universities and government cannot establish that, then we need to see towards the private institution, establishing the private institution. So in that process, we need this process to be clear, accessible, transparent, and quality driven. And in other move that we need to be give the funding or recognition on the outcome based, what kind of outcome they are providing, so that the, you can say, the category which is I'm favor to establishing, like first provide them deemed to be university status, and then the university status. So deemed to be university status given by the UGC in section 3, and then it that may be converted into the 2F, or basically 2F is for university, state and central universities. But we can go step by step after looking the performance of that particular university or that particular college or any other institution. So these are the good things and the challenges I have talked. Now what we can, how we can move forward to better our higher education system. So some of the possible session I have given in between my talk also, but to point out these things, I prepared some points that we need to restructure our regulatory system. Likewise, we are having so many regulatory system, and it is also pending with the government of India that there should be one regulatory mechanism and one governance structure to regulate the our higher education system. And then uh, university funding or university grant should be, uh, you can say, in conjunction with the performance. If any university performing well, their grant must be increased. And then if any university is not performing well, then higher regulatory body should find out that what are the reason for their poor performance. Is there any governance problem or management problem, or what type of problem they are facing? If that regulatory body will start to find out their problem and try to solve that in a various manner, then every university will perform better. The next part is that the leadership. You need to appoint the best vice chancellor with the vision and with the aim to excel our universities, principals to excel our colleges. So in that we need to be transparent, and we need to adopt a objective process. And I think now it's time has come that UGC should directly appoint the vice chancellor. They can prepare a pool with them, with the professors, and from particular state, their performance, their expertise, and then their expertise or experiences in handling the administrative matter. On that basis, UGC can directly appoint the vice chancellor to the university. So it will be the fair idea to appoint. Otherwise, every time it will be politicized, it will go to the court, and then it will take time. After that, court will say the appointment is wrong. Then the whole, you can say, work which has been done by that particular person will be null and void. So it's better that best leader among the best professors, list of professors should be appointed, so that the regulatory body directly can check their performance. After that, uh, world class institution, that is also one of the requirement, and it is coming. So it is good idea, but again, that we need to be collaborated with the world class institution in this regard, so we can get a better idea that how those institutions are growing, how much more we can do to make our university or higher education system better. Like institutions of eminence are there, we can collaborate with them and then make our institution better. In draft national education policy, there was a suggestion that restructuring of higher education into three tiers, like tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And that includes tier 1 includes research universities focusing equally on research and teaching, but the main focus will be on research. Then in tier 2, teaching universities main and primary focus is on teaching, and the third includes colleges focusing on teaching at undergraduate level. So I think that is the better idea, to make our institution in a three layer, so that more focus or more funding can be given to the tier 1, which having the research objectives, and we can uh, fulfill their need. Then tier 2 is more on teaching, so we can provide best teachers to them, and in college we can provide a better teacher and their better uh, you can say facility for the undergraduate or skill, to make them skill human resources in the college level. So that can be the good idea, if regulatory body will uh, divide the institution in this manner. Then we need to more focus on vocational and professional led education. Accreditation framework, we are working on that. So but still the accreditation framework needs to be improved, because we have seen, or we have gone through so many stories, that in this process we are facing so many corrupt practices, existing corrupt practices. So accreditation must be transparent and objective. And the one suggestion I already given, that funding must be, or incentive must be on the performance based, and more uh, you can say advertisement or promotion to the distance and online education, so that we can provide the education to those people or to those students which cannot come to our um, traditional university system, and they are residing far flung area of our country. So these are the ways forward you can on that our regulatory bodies can work. So basically, the if I will sum up all these points in one paragraph, that our regulatory bodies are doing well, looking to our diversified nature of country. We are having so many, as I told, states, and all states are in it having different flavor, different area, different geographical nature. So, in that perspective, they are doing good. But to do best, we need a holistic change. And that holistic change must be from corruption free regulatory bodies, corruption free institution, universities, visionary appointment on the post of the vice chancellor, professors, and then the proper funding, performance based uh, funding, and periodical updation of the curriculum. So, all these things we need to be incorporated through our regulatory bodies. Only then we will achieve the competitive GER with developed countries. So, this is my small presentation about this role of regulatory bodies and how we can improve that role uh, through the suggestion which I have focused on. So over to Aryan. Uh, my side, I have completed. If any question or if any discussion, then I happy to do this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the session. We have a few questions, and I found your
Yeah.
session really insightful coming from a university which didn't have a vice chancellor for almost 1 to 2 years. I really found your session insightful. So, shall I
What?
start with the questions? Sir, I
Yeah.
come from a university where we didn't have a vice chancellor for 1 to 2 years. So, I really found
Oh,
the session insightful. Okay, so shall I start with the questions?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So, so how can universities effectively balance academic freedom with the need to maintain respectful and inclusive campus environment?
See, campus environment is depend upon the uh, leaders, what type of leaders they are having. If the leader is visionary, having the experience, then he or she can improve the campus environment. And autonomy and the freedom to the universities, that freedom basically freedom of expression and speech uh, in territory of their, you can say, constitutional mandate. And apart from that, they can pursue their research, that is also freedom. And means I couldn't understand that what kind of freedoms people need. All kind of freedoms available. If you are following the law, we are having all kind of freedom, all kind of autonomy. The basic autonomy which is provided to the university, that they are free from the uh, politics. That the institution should not be the अड्डा of the politics, है ना, राजनीति का अड्डा नहीं होना चाहिए. और इल प्रैक्टिसेस से उसको फ्रीडम होना चाहिए. हमने फ्रीडम को ना एक कहते हैं ना कि लिबर्टी फ्रीडम, उसको एक इस सेंस में ले लिया है कि वी कैन डू एनीथिंग इन यूनिवर्सिटी. So basically it is not like that. We are free from all ill practices which is existing in the universe, in the society. Like we should not have a crime in the institution. We are free from that. We are having the freedom of expression in the speech. We are having the freedom of pursue the research and pursue our goal. So all these freedom actually available to the university, all these freedom actually and autonomy existing in the university system. And no one can force, there is no transfer of the faculty. No one, no political party force us to do in a proper manner. बाकी संस्थाओं में क्या होता है, those who are working, those who are directly government servant, they can be transferred anywhere. But if here you will speak, no one can transfer you. A law faculty working in department of law, he cannot be transferred in the sociology or economics if he will speak. So That is the autonomy, and that autonomy to criticize in a constructive manner. So these freedoms, I know that these freedom also not available in many institutions due to one or other you can say factors. But that is actually ideal institution is that where students, smallest student can contribute, can is free use their freedom of expression in speech, criticize the management, criticize constructively, criticize the governance, and ask for their rights. So these are the freedom actually existing, so that after enjoying that freedom, one can come out in society and protect the rights of the uh, other member of the society.
Thank you, sir. So the next question we have is, do you think that the current education system is very complex and far too much pressurizing for the students?
See, yes, that pressure is coming from the by their own. If you want more and more things in life, you need to do you need to work hard. If your desires are less, and if you are putting all your, you can say, concentration or your efforts in excelling in life, getting knowledge, then it is not pressurizing. प्रेशर एक्चुअल में माउंट हो रहा है फैमिली साइड से, सोसाइटी साइड से, कि आपको यही बनना है. अगर इस क्राइटेरिया में चलेंगे तो यस इट इज, मैं मानता हूं कि यस इट इज प्रेशराइजिंग. या आप दूसरों को देख करके चलेंगे तो यस इट इज प्रेशराइजिंग. बट ऐसा नहीं है. अगर आप अपने मन का कर रहे हैं और वो अगर सही रास्ते पे है, आप उसके लिए मेहनत कर रहे हैं, तो प्रेशराइजिंग नहीं है वो ना. मीडियोकर स्टूडेंट्स भी लाइफ में बहुत अच्छा करते हैं. इवन फेलियर्स आल्सो डूइंग वेरी गुड इन लाइफ. बट वही होता है कि वो गलत है ना एरिया के लिए फाइट कर रहे होते हैं, तो उनको प्रेशर फील होता है. किसी का अगर बिल्कुल ही पढ़ाई में मन नहीं लग रहा है, वो उसके पास बहुत अच्छा स्किल है, तो उसको वो स्किल परस्यू करना चाहिए. अगर वो स्किल परस्यू करना करके उसमें जाएगा जिस वो काम वो नहीं कर पा रहा है, तो फिर उसको ऑब्वियस है प्रेशर फील करेगा, एंड फेलियर्स विल कम, एंड फेलियर विल ब्रेक हिम. तो these are the problem. And yes, pressurizing है, pressurizing from society, peers, parents, ये सब तो है, no doubt.
So, so the next question is, what are the challenges faced by the regulatory bodies in proper functioning and implementation?
See, first and foremost thing that which I feel that UGC having only the power to stop the funds. अगर UGC को हम मेजर, क्योंकि हर बार हर चीज UGC से ही जाके कनेक्ट हो जाती है, तो उनके पास क्या पावर है? व्हाट पावर दे आर हैविंग? दे कैन ओनली डी रिकॉग्नाइज. बट डी रिकॉग्निशन में आप देखेंगे कि देयर आर ओनली एग्जांपल्स ऑफ डी रिकॉग्नाइजिंग प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटीज. गवर्नमेंट का ऐसा कोई एग्जांपल मैंने कभी देखा नहीं जिसको उन्होंने डी रिकॉग्नाइज किया हो. या फिर फंडिंग कर्टेल कर देंगे. फंडिंग कर्टेल करने से इंस्टीट्यूशन का क्या हुआ, या उन बच्चों का क्या दोष जिनका कोई रोल ही नहीं है गवर्नेंस में या मिसमैनेजमेंट में. So the problem is that we need to give more power to regulatory bodies, and that the power they can enjoy on the basis of evaluating the performance. है ना. अगर कोई सपोज जैसे कि मेरी क्लास में मान लीजिए कोई बच्चा अच्छे से नहीं बिहेव कर रहा है, तो मैं उसके मार्क्स काट कर अगर पनिश करूं तो ये अच्छा नहीं होगा. उसको मैं और कोई सजा दे सकता हूँ जो डिसिप्लिन, उसको डिसिप्लिन करने में काम की हो. बट अगर मार्क्स से उसको जोड़ूंगा और वो मान लीजिए अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहा है कॉपी में, बट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ इनडिसिप्लिन बिहेवियर इफ आई एम गिविंग रॉन्ग मार्क्स और नॉट ए गुड मार्क्स, तो उसके साथ इनजस्टिस होगा. तो सिमिलरली फंडिंग को कर्टेल करना, अगर कोई इंस्टीट्यूशन रूल्स फॉलो नहीं कर रहा है, तो वो बच्चों के साथ अन्याय होगा, या उन लोगों के साथ जिनका कोई दोष है नहीं. तो बेटर है इसके लिए कि कुछ न कुछ ऐसा है ना पावर वो डिवाइस ऐसा निकाले जिससे गवर्नेंस चेंज हो उसकी, जो गलत काम कर रही है या जो सही नहीं कर रही है, और उसके बाद उसको एट पार विथ अदर बेस्ट यूनिवर्सिटीज लाया जाए, तो ये ज्यादा अच्छा होगा। यानी दे नीड मोर पावर, मोर टीथ, so that they can compel them to perform better। ये जरूरी है। ये सबसे बड़ा जो वो फेस कर रहे हैं प्रॉब्लम, कि उनके पास कोई ऐसा पावर नहीं है।
Thank you, sir. So the next question is that with the introduction of new criminal laws, will the Indian legal education system be affected with them? And what improvements could be brought by the students into their studying strategies and by the colleges in general so that these students can understand better, understand these new criminal laws better?
ये तो थोड़ा सा अलग क्वेश्चन हो गया इससे, बट स्टिल आई विल ट्राई टू आंसर। कि देखिए, ऐसा बहुत बड़ा बदलाव नहीं हुआ है उस लॉ में। अगर आप देखेंगे तो बहुत से प्रोविजंस वो के वो एग्जिस्ट कर रहे हैं, है ना, क्रिमिनल लॉ में। कुछ चेंजेस हुए हैं, दैट चेंजेस आर फॉर गुड। लाइकवाइज यूज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी जो कि बढ़ती जा रही है, एंड इट इज quite relevant with the legal education also and the justice system also. If you will use more technology which is foolproof, then we will get justice in a smallest period. Otherwise the long trial is also one of the punishment to the accused also and the victim also। तो ये तो betterment के लिए ही है, और उसमें I don't think that we need change our strategy to teach student। Yes, the introduction of you can say forensic science, then we can make them to visit forensic science labs or forensic science experts interaction, that we can arrange as a teacher to them। And for college going or the students who are pursuing it, they need not too much worry about this new introduction, because it's not a overhaul changes. There are the changes, but all the changes they can already known to them, like chain snatching there, mob lynching there. Then you can say some of the crimes become gender neutral. So all these things are very known to them. We can't say that they are unaware about these progress or changes in the society or introduction of new crimes. So I think they need not to worry about this. It's quite simple.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the next question is what strategies do regulatory bodies currently employ to address the complexities of globalization and need for like teaching international disciplines in higher education?
See, to meet with the international standard, the regulatory bodies are allowing foreign universities into India. So what will happen when a foreign institution will set up here? They will uh, try to develop foreign standards infrastructure in this country. So looking to that and looking to that competition, our institution will also force to compete with them. Otherwise, the more and more students will go there, and if the student will not take in other universities, that universities running to that university will become very tough. So regulatory body is doing, I think, a decent work in this respect, that they are introducing more and more foreign universities into India. So there will be a competitive environment among them. But the fear which I have in my mind, that is about the fees, the cost of the education. If that will increase, then only the rich students can go to that institution. So here the role of regulatory body will come. That fees, what type of fees they will charge, how much fees they will charge. We are having in India, we are having the law program with charging the fees like 40, 50 lakh for 5 years. So it is huge amount. Only you can say bestest or richest people can only enjoy that privilege to go and study there. The common man cannot afford such amount. So that is one area which need to be looked into, that cost of the education. Otherwise, we are introducing foreign universities into India. It is good initiative. It will make competitive environment, and that standard can be taken by the other institution also to improve their infrastructure.
Thank you, sir. So next question is, uh, why is there a lack in building infrastructure for students in higher education that leads to limiting potential of the students' growth? Like, why is there a gap in the infrastructure building?
Yes, that is the problem. See, if we look into the present system, what is happening, that the legislature passing the act, they are declaring any institution become university, or they are enacting a law, any institution enacting through the law a new institution without looking that what type of, especially private institution, without looking what type of land they are having, how much land they are having. There are the provisions, but the check on those provision or compliance of that provision, that is also again the part or the burden, or you can say the duty of the regulatory bodies to see. And just passing the law and then declaring the establishment, it is not enough. And this question is very pertinent because so many universities and colleges not having the adequate number of classrooms, and that's why there are no classes going on. The students are not turning into the universities. The attendance is very low. The presence of students are very low in that institution. So due to that, the actual education or real life education is not existing there. The universities are only enrolling and taking examination, providing material or maybe not providing material, and then they are passing and giving the degrees. So these practice should be stopped, and that can only be possible by the stringent rules that if you are running such number of courses, you must have that number of classrooms. Otherwise, your recognition, if given, will be taken back. So these hard decisions should be taken by the regulatory bodies to provide the proper infrastructure to the student, because ultimately students is paying for that education, so that they should get it. Even the teaching student ratio is also very low. That is also one of the aspect. Some of the universities not having the assistant professor, some of not having associate professor, you know. Some of the courses only running based or through the guest faculties, visiting faculties. So all these area which needs to be redressed or addressed by the regulatory bodies.
Thank you, sir. So next question is, given the recent whole NEET controversy and followed by the cancellation of UGC-NET and the NEET PG exams, so do you think that the newly passed Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Act is a step in the right direction to ensure a more just and fair system of higher education and competition in India?
See, if if you enact any law, the law depends upon the mindset of the society. If we are dependent too much on a specific subject area, if you're giving too much weightage to that subject area and there is so much demand, so that to supply that or to fulfill that demand, some of the members will take an you can say shortest way to get. जैसे मेडिकल की बात करें, seats are very low, the availability of institutions are very low, the demand is very high. Seats, to fulfill that demand, students are working hard. So where they are going? They are going to coaching institution. So coaching institution are earning. Then if suppose some coaching institution not having qualified or talented faculty members, then and they are also having the criminal mindset, then what they are doing, they are going for paper leak. And for that paper leak, we to curb that paper leak, we created law. So whether that law is making or putting fear into that mind or not, that is important. Otherwise, we can enact number of law, but if that law is failed to put the fear into the mind, then that law is useless. क्रिमिनल लॉ में भी देख लीजिए, आपने इतने चेंज किए, इतना टफ स्ट्रिंजेंट पनिशमेंट किए हुए हैं, क्या अपराध रुक रहे हैं? है ना? ड्यू प्रोसेस मॉडल से हर बार अपराध रुकेंगे ऐसा नहीं है. वी नीड क्राइम कंट्रोल मॉडल समटाइम्स. और क्राइम कंट्रोल मॉडल होगा जिसमें कई बार आपको इमीडिएट डिसीजंस लेने पड़ेंगे. ओनली दैट वे वी कैन कर्व द क्राइम. जब इतना ज्यादा हो जाता है, वी हैव सीन सो मेनी पेपर लीक केसेस in last few years. It means there is no fear among those who are leaking the paper, who are giving the examination on substituting that that real man. उसकी जगह पे एग्जाम दे करके आप पास कर दे रहे हैं. एडमिशन एग्जाम कोई दे रहा है, एडमिशन किसी का हो रहा है. Why this happening? Because there is no fear in the mind of those people. कई यहाँ राजस्थान में तो कई लोगों को ट्रेनिंग में से पकड़ा गया है, जो सब इंस्पेक्टर वगैरह की ट्रेनिंग कर रहे थे. उन्होंने पेपर लीक करके मतलब एग्जाम दिया, तो उनको पुलिस ट्रेनिंग एकेडमीज में से ले गए हैं, अरेस्ट किया गया है. तो ऐसा तभी होगा जब लॉ जो है वो अपना काम प्रॉपर नहीं कर पा रहा है, या रेगुलेटरी बॉडीज प्रॉपर नहीं कर पा रही, और एक दो सब्जेक्ट्स के ऊपर इतना ह्यूज प्रेशर है जिसके कारण ऐसा हो. तभी होगा, अदरवाइज नहीं होगा.
Thank you, sir. We shall now conclude our session. Do you have any closing words, sir?
No, I'm thankful to the again to Just Corpus and all those who participated, who have seen us and asked the questions. So thankful to Team Just Corpus. Thankful to you also who conducted this session very well. And once again, thank you.
In closing, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Mithilesh, sir, for accepting our invitation and delivering such an informative session. We trust that our audience found it both interesting and knowledgeable. Thank you once again, sir, and we shall eagerly anticipate the opportunity to host you again.